What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got some new rumors to talk about regarding Resident Evil, and it's actually several Resident Evil things. We got RE9, we got Code Veronica, we got RE5, tons of stuff. So just want to get right into what the rumors actually are, and then we'll go over my opinions on them. Now, they come from Dusk Golem, who obviously we've talked about quite a bit, and I believe the guy when it comes to Resident Evil, when it comes to Silent Hill, when he's in his element, I think he's accurate. When he's not in his element, I think he's a whole lot less accurate. But he goes on multiple tweets. We'll kind of just cut through to like the important parts. So first, he says, I would wipe the expectations of RE9 being announced this summer period. The initial murmurs I heard, I now do believe are right, and RE9's announcement is further away than this upcoming summer. Sorry for the back and forth. That's my fault. RE1 remake rumors are BS. As far as I know, RE1 is not in any form of development at all right now. RE5 is not actively in development either. It's been funny seeing this be what people think is happening publicly. RE9 is pushed back to late 2025/2026. If everything I've heard is correct, which I fully believe it is, I know others have hinted this. I'm not the first to say this publicly. Actually, just it's not caught on. There's actually a remake of Code Veronica and RE0 in development right now. I've talked to many others behind the scenes about this at this point. It's something I've heard over a year ago. I think it was going to get out whether I was the one to say it or not. And then you also have this individual who I guess is actually the editor-in-chief of University Nintendo, which is a pretty okay sizable Nintendo account. And he says, and both on Switch 2 natively. I just wanted to throw that in, not coming from Dusk Golem, but we've been hearing more and more, and I'm sure over the next maybe like 6 months, you're going to hear about a lot of games coming to the Switch 2, even though Nintendo hasn't done the Switch 2 announcement yet, right? And I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you could debate whether or not it's going to happen, but I think a lot of games are going to end up on the Switch 2. So, all right, well, let's go through what we got there. So, RE9 is not going to be this is all, the rumors, and you can believe it or not believe it. Again, I tend to believe him when it comes to RE. So, okay, no announcement this summer. I wanted it. I mean, I was kind of predicting it, but you know what? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Late 2025/early 2026. That part, I guess, is a little bit later than we thought, right? Like, even I was kind of predicting, if you show it this summer, the game could come out early next year, so early 2025. At this point, from my thoughts on it, my prediction, and just kind of what lines up with what they've done, really with all of them. I mean, RE7, 8, 2, 3, 4, like all of them have been in the same kind of window, right? So it seems like it's been pushed maybe as far as a year after that. So not ideal, but it is what it is. RE1 not being real, that was a newer rumor, right? We hadn't heard too much about that, and people weren't all that into it. I mean, I think the general thing was, well, you kind of already did it, so you're going to do it again. And I mean, you could get into the funny back and forth of, well, it's only a matter of time until they remake RE2 remake again. But, I will say RE1 remake is a lot different than 2 and 3. I think you could sell people on the idea of an RE1 remake. So I never thought it was like the worst thing in the world, but you did see people bring that stuff up, and that's understandable. 5 not being in development is kind of wild, only until I guess you get to 0 and Code Veronica. So Code Veronica specifically is one that I've been asking for and saying that makes a ton of sense. You see the reception online. I think a lot of people want Code Veronica. You also, I mean, let's be real, you also wouldn't have as big of a controversy doing though. Now, I think you do 5. I think eventually you do 5, and I'm going to laugh because I don't think it's at what people, online or IGNs of the world, right? I don't think it's what they say. I think a lot of people will have mental breakdowns when they do an RE5 remake, so in a sense, I just want it for that. On top of, I actually really liked RE5, and I kind of want to play it again, so in a remade fashion. So I do think they make 5, and I think they will kind of accept the controversy that comes with it, and I think they'll win. I think they would win out versus these lunatics. But if you do Code Veronica, you do 0. People have been asking specifically for Code Veronica, so I think you win there, and you kind of push the other things down the road, right? Then if you do 5, then even if you do 6, it's been long enough. I think it's been long enough for 5 anyway, but maybe you extend it even further. They're going to remake all of them. I think that's kind of the plan, and I don't see the issue with it, at least right now. So, I'm kind of for it. Again, I want 5. I want 5 remade, but I also really want Code Veronica remade. So if you're going to do Code Veronica, Veronica, I'll get off, the pedestal and, stop talking about 5 at least for a little bit while you do that. So a lot happening. There's nothing, no more information on when you show Code Veronica or anything like that, or 0, but I'm sure maybe right after I think RE9 is next. It kind of has to be next. And then maybe right after that, especially because if it got delayed, then it might be closer to what comes after than it would have been if it wasn't delayed, right? So, not the greatest news. I mean, you got some things that we thought were happening that aren't happening, but now we got some things that are happening that we didn't think were happening, and, you get some delays mixed in there. Kind of a mixed bag rumor, but one that I will take so that we can adjust our expectations accordingly. So you let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.